All right, I'm tapping out. That's the classic way to do a test spot, Ivan.
I'm not worried about using the blade on paint. I'd have a different approach.
Nick from Hawk Pro is coming back. Well, this is about the time, Ivan, that I would have been taping up trim, so...
Start taping up trim.
As well do that.
Yep. I'm going to start polishing.
You know, the whole idea is that you tape up emblems or anything you might damage with your polish or your polisher. Of course, gold standard polish is safe on trim, so this is a pretty unnecessary step for me, but here we go. I'm going to do it the way I did it.
Nick grabbed just about every pad in the shop, so I'm having to come to his side to find a pad.
I actually don't want to tape up trim, Ivan, because I like polishing trim with the gold standard polish, but...
but the old ways say, do not polish trim.
That's true, that's true. Oh boy, oh boy. This is just unnecessary, you guys. Why am I doing this?
You're doing it for science, Nick. You're doing it for science.
Okay.
Nick, don't forget to tape off that square for your test spot to get that perfect 50-50 line.
Oh, okay, is that what we're gonna do?
That's what you used to do.
All right, Ivan.
Remember, you're going back to your roots. Oh, I see a headlamp too.
Oh, of course. The rotary with the wool pad, Ivan. The old school way.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to pick up the bead, see if I can still do it. Ah, pretty good. Boy, I don't want to get any more aggressive than this. Okay, but there's holograms in this paint, but it is very shiny. I just don't want to go after this stuff. I'm nervous. It's shiny though, right? Yeah. I need to refine that. Of course, we finished polish with a dual action at Hawk Pro.
Right.
So I'll Hawk Pro this. I didn't get the paint hot though. I was right on 3 with the wool pad, which we don't typically teach. Check this out though, check this out. So look how hazy and chalky this is. And let's move over to where I did the test spot. There's no question that it's much shinier. In fact, the clarity is pretty awesome. I see some holograms in the paint that I can refine in my second step. But I am very pleased with how glossy the Rotary left it. Nick from Hockey Pro is coming back. I don't even know why I did the tape line. Okay, hold on, internet. This is why we do tape lines. Check this out. Speed 3, Rotary wool, gold standard. Past the tape line. Look at how nasty that is, right? So I'm just saying. Not bad. Not too shabby. Now I have all this tape residue to deal with. But I like that as my initial step. I'm not going to use sandpaper on this hood. I think we found our compound step with the Rotary. Let's do this.
Looking good, Nick.
It's actually pretty good, right?
Yeah. Now.
Okay, real quick. Picking up the bead, having more gold standard. If I'm going to run this at speed 3, get the paint a little warmer, and I want to keep it lubricated, is there any logic behind having more polish there? Again, we're out of the system now, so I'm trying to freestyle in a way that, like, we're not endorsing. This is how I would do it.
Right, yeah. If you're doing that, yes, you want a little more lubrication.
More polish, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the last thing you want is for the paint to get so hot with no lubrication, that's when you burn. Yeah.
Right. Now, back in his day, he would have finished with a 15 millimeter machine.
Yep.
Here's the prototype of our 15 millimeter machine.
Oh, I don't get the 25?
No.
I want the 25.
No, you get our 15 millimeter, which, might or might not be available by the time this video comes out. If not, there's one coming. But this was a guy, and I should have recorded this. It would have been a great video to play back later and later and later, and many times saying, you old guys, cars did not look good back then because you finished with a Rotary. It's impossible to finish well with a Rotary. You have to finish with a DA.
This could be a 7-step correction, Ivan, so maybe I will finish with the Rotary at the end. I don't know what I'm going to need to get those Rotary swirls out, those holograms. Yeah. I like the gloss from that first step, so I'm going to start there. I think I can get it with yellow on DA, but I don't know yet.
Yeah, the Rotary definitely gives you a gloss, that's for sure.
Boy, I do want to sand out some of those marks on the hood, but I'm just not going to do it. You said it's repainted.
The hood is not somewhere we want to go crazy on. The rest of the vehicle is the original paint. The hood is not, Nick.
Okay.
And Sylvie, if you can come with the camera, hopefully we can catch this. So what we're seeing here, just at the edge of the light here, what we're seeing is sanding marks, first of all. Those little round, very small ticks. But also all those little divots that look like, some people call it solvent popping. And it's actually not solvent popping. That's actually the paint or the clear coat that's been polished so much that it's down to its sort of soft underbelly. And that soft underbelly makes it so that you see all those little points. And those little points are actually quite dangerous. So that's telling us all these little points there that we don't want to go crazy on this hood. So right there, you can see just how bad it is with all those little spots.
All right.
One thing the owner of this car asked us to do is get rid of the stickers. The previous owner, let's say they like stickers. So there's 2 on the back window. I'm gonna get rid of 2 on my side. Nick just has 1, but I've got a little extra time. I'm just starting it with a razor blade. And just peeling it up. Thankfully, the sticker is not too dried out, so it's gonna make our lives a little easier. Now the sticker is on windows, so thankfully I'm not worried about using the blade on paint. I'd have a different approach. How are you doing there, Nick?
Good, I was gonna do a little wet sanding. So I can just tell based on how white this scratch is that this could use some wet sanding out. And I don't really want to be sanding on this paint, I've already kind of determined that, but I'm spending an extra amount of time around this front driver's door. This is just an important area. I know that the client's gonna spend time there. So I just decided arbitrarily, not because of any specific reason, that I'm just going to use my Incredible Suds as a sanding lube. So I've been putting the sandpaper in the bucket. And I'm not very good at this, guys. It's been a long time since I've done this.
Well, you've had training from Jason Kilmer, so.
I know I haven't, but...
And you're probably using one of his blocks, too.
I am using a Jason Kilmer sanding block. Jason, I'm sorry, dude. This doesn't feel very good to me. I feel like I'm not living up to expectations. I'm using a pretty soft block, Ivan. I'm getting nervous because I'm close to an edge. My marks are all uneven.
Now, the sticker on this side is a little more tenacious, so I'm using a tree sap remover to break down the adhesive, and just a little spray on the adhesive and it's coming off quite easily.
I don't know if this is... It's not going to do much. I'm not moving this, am I? It felt good up here. Okay, that one felt a lot better. I'm good with that. Down here, I just don't think... So up here on this panel, and I'm not proud of my sanding marks, but you know, I think this will be all right. The white of this scratch is pretty much gone. I think this is gonna come out nice. Down here, that is so white that the best we can do is hope to just generally improve that. That's a deep one. So here we go. And that looks just about perfect. So 2000 grit sanding marks. Actually, they came out pretty good with just the rotary. So I'm happy there. There's, I can still see the sanding marks up here. But down here, I'm a little nervous still. Yeah, there's sanding marks up here still, but it's actually looking pretty good. Down here, it's all the way through, and it's some net. Ivan, you don't even want to see these, how bad that wet sanding was there.
Now, Nick.
Ivan's here.
Speaking of sanding marks, your side of the car is factory. My side has been repainted.
Yes.
And
how do you even know that?
well, I'm going to bring the camera along.
Okay.
And we'll show the camera.
Okay. I'll stay quiet.
But there's actually, we can see sanding marks, and there's a dust nib that you just saw go by in the light. So above my finger, right there, you see that semicircular mark. And if we move along the paint, you see angular, they're about a 45-degree angle, sanding marks. And there's a dust nib. So look right at the light. You'll see a little dust nib there. As we move along, we see little sanding marks. So it's obvious that this side has been repainted. There's another dust nib right above the light. Just keep moving along. So that's an indication that this has been repainted. And when that's the case, you have to be a little more gentle with the polishing because you never know what's lurking behind.
Still see some sanding marks in there. But in terms of the appearance of that scratch, that's actually a lot better. We took the white out of it for sure. So I might try to clean up these sanding marks, or like a good hack, I may just leave them in. Because I'm going to leave a lot in this paint. I'll probably go after those sanding marks. But I got to be careful how much clear coat is left, so it's going to be a long night.
On my side,
It's pretty much done.
I don't want Nick to hear this, so I've polished this here, and this is the result. So that was extremely oxidized, as you can see, and the oxidization is now in the bucket. When I'm polishing, I'm paying particular attention to areas like this. These areas accumulate a lot of dirt over time. And if we move the camera up and you look at the other side, you'll see exactly what I mean. So when I'm polishing, that's something I want to polish.
All right, I'm tapping out. The Viper chair is expensive, Ivan, but I'm not talking bad about it. I just need this. My body ain't what it used to be. I'm contorting. I'm making a change. That's all. That's all I'm gonna say.
So step one is done for me. I've done all the polishing everywhere, compounding, however you want to look at it, the heavy cut. Now, I'm gonna go right over this. Nick in his old ways, and a lot of people still do this, they wipe off the first residue before going to the second residue because they want to inspect, they want to see. That's why it has that headlight on. So for me, I'm going to the next step. Nick still has to wipe this off, inspect, do the light thing, maybe retouch a few areas, and then do a second pass. How you feeling, Nick?
I'm sweaty, I'm tired. I'm already thinking about the shortcuts I can take. Like on the panel, kind of below my knee.
Yeah.
I don't even think I'm gonna compound that. I think I'm just gonna polish that. Just because I'm trying to impress the judges tomorrow and I'm hoping they won't look. I'm already getting strategic. It's getting late. Corners are getting cut. This is where mistakes are happening, okay? Mistakes happen. Corners get cut when you get tired.
Yeah.
Like Ivan, you're good. I'm dripping sweat. I'm not even done with the cutting phase. I'm thinking about wet sanding another section. It's just getting real out here in these streets, guys. Creating stress where no stress needs to be had, that's pretty good at that. So this is an area that's going to be very visible. It's about head height for me. You can tell it's very deep, the scratch. So I'm just going to give it a quick spritz. And then my apologies to Jason Kilmer, who I've literally learned wet sanding from. If I butcher this, Jason, I'm sorry, sir. But sand to improve, not remove. Nothing crazy here. Just 2000 grit. We've already learned that I'm pretty able to get these out. Of course, anything you introduce, you have to remove later, but I think a lot of the white will come out. Not gonna do anything more. There's just a couple more up here that you may not be able to see that I'm gonna, maybe I'm silly, go after.
Since I have rinseless wash in my pad washer, I'm using that to dampen a towel. For finishing, we decided not to use a ceramic coating because we don't want Nick to be working till like 6 in the morning.
Thank you, Evan. Yeah, I'm not proud of some of these passes. They're a little uneven, but for the purposes of this scratch, I think that's all we're gonna need to do. You know, Ivan, we say the gold standard polish doesn't sling, but when you've been running it as wet as I have with maybe 2 sprays instead of 1 and a little extra liquid from the pad washer, because that's the one thing from my time using a Rotary is I'm always looking at the solution under the pad.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that it doesn't dry out.
Right.
I'm trying to keep lubrication. There's probably a lot of variables I don't know about what's happening. What I do know is if I can see solution of my polish, which thankfully gold standard polish is amazing, it'll run forever. And at a low speed on the rotary, it does run forever, but I'm erring on the side of wet. I'm slinging all over. Actually, the tape seems like a good idea. All right, back to it.
For myself, the hood is finished.
You're gonna be done and I'm still gonna be on step one. Using the rotary?
For finishing.
The rotary? Oh, to finish, okay. Of course. So that's paint up there and then the rest is glass and then it's not anymore?
Yeah, like most of the roof is all. You know, Nick, it would be really nice if you stopped slinging on my side.
Hey.
I'm already done and wiped off, and you keep slinging stuff over here. So.
I'm trying to keep you working. I haven't even finished my first step. Pray for me, guys. All right, need to get that.
I'm decidedly taking my time here. So.
I know. I'm not used to the one-handed rotary with wool. Let's put it that way. Oh boy. All I can think of is someone once telling me if it feels like you're working, you're doing something wrong.
That is true. Normally, I would wipe off as I go, but seeing the amount of sling I'm getting from the other side, I'm just gonna polish the whole side and then come back and wipe off. I don't like going back and forth for no reason, and that is one of the things. You can see on the hood, he's polishing back there and I've got sling up to here. So
when you're done, you just wipe it all down, Ivan.
yeah, no.
The American way. Gotta wipe it all off first, right? To examine my work, see if I can get these holograms taken care of.
And normally, normally with a dry towel.
I gave up on the dry towel, by the way, because it was too much work. So honestly, Ivan, in some ways, bringing me back to my roots is making me appreciate my present. Doing it this way just, I don't know. I will say a couple things so far. The rotary with the wool pad to compound is actually a joy with gold standard polish. Like,
Yeah,
if
it
you
is.
choose to do that,
Yeah.
the working time of gold standard polish is absolutely amazing. And that is one thing you do not want it drying up on you, especially if you're kind of new to this and you don't know what you don't know. One thing that can at least keep you in the safe zone, if you're going to use our wool pad and compound with the rotary, which is not how we teach it, is to have the lubricity of gold standard polish. Like that, because I used to use a different compound that stayed really moist, wet throughout, and I always loved it, not because it cut the best, because it gave me so much working time.
Right. The other thing about working with a rotary, though, is that you're leaving holograms
Everywhere.
with the DA. I didn't have to worry about holograms because I don't create any.
Yep.
And coming back with the rotary, I've got a beautiful finish. I don't have to worry about, like I said, holograms and things like that. So, Nick,
I'm going to do a test spot, but I do value your advice. Do you think I'll be able to get these holograms out with yellow on a DA? Or do you think I need to go wool on a DA?
no, yellow and the DA should do it.
Okay, okay. Well, I got my work cut out for me, Ivan.
Yeah. So get at that.
I see all those dots.
Yeah.
No, and is that what you were talking about earlier?
Yeah.
Just like how, okay. So if you see that, it's like,
You're screwed.
yeah. Okay.
So Nick, you get to try out our 15 millimeter machine with a 5-inch pad, because that's the way you used to do it. 6-inch pads were too big for Nick. While Nick continues, I'm going to take a little break. Supper time for me. But, you know, Nick is going to soldier on through. He's got still a lot of work to do.
I'm excited to see where this test spot gets me, Ivan.
Yeah. But I really appreciate, you know, not having too much sling on my side.
Enjoy your dinner. So now back to one spray on the pad. That's perfectly enough. The rotary was fun. It was a lot of work, a lot of sling. Headlamp was giving me a headache. Like, Ivan's wisdom is worth listening to. With that said, though, I'm going to do a quick test spot, see if I remove these holograms. And I guess I am going to use my light because I want to see what's going on. Okay, I'm going to do a quick test spot, see if I can remove some holograms, and go from there. I'm using a rinseless wash dampened towel first because it just works. There's a limit to old school Nick here. I'm just trying to figure out this test spot. I'm going to use different angles of light to give me a sense of what I see on the paint. How was dinner?
Good. So where are you up to, Nick?
I decided just to one-step the roof because no one's gonna see that.
Okay.
And I finished polishing the hood, front fender, the glass,
Okay.
and I just wiped so I could see it. So I'm gonna add my protection at the end. I'll probably panel prep and then add protection to add some more time.
Yep. Good.
I want the protection to last the longest amount of time. So I'm gonna add panel prep before I wipe it in. evolving into a bit of a hybrid detail here because I know some tips and tricks from this great company called DIY Detail. They've got a great polish. The polish is trim. I know I wasn't supposed to polish it. I couldn't help myself. However, it's looking kind of nasty. One thing you might try, pad washer, just use it. Or a little bit of all clean. Diluted 15:1, that's how it comes in our 16-ounce bottles. Just agitate it in a little bit. Check this out. Speed 6. All clean. One thing I'm doing, I'm running the dual action polisher a little bit higher in the speed range, around 4. This is how I used to do it, so that if I had any rotary holograms left in the paint, the logic goes, higher speed will get them out. So I'm running at speed 4, and then my final pass, I release the pressure and I run it at speed 3. And I'm not really putting pressure on here at all. I'm just putting a couple fingers worth. Probably a couple fingers worth more than Yvan ever does. So just for these first couple passes, and it's probably in my head, I just don't want to leave holograms. I'm not concerned about a perfect finish. I just don't want those holograms. Down to speed 3 for that final no pressure pass. You know what's annoying, Yvan?
What?
Taking off all this tape.
Yep.
All the residue left behind. It's almost like having a polish that doesn't require you to tape is a good thing.
It pretty much is a good thing, yes. Saves a lot of time, effort, and you actually do a better job. You don't have that tape residue to deal with. And as you abdicated and decided to polish the trim, you know why you did that.
I know, I threw you off a little bit with that one, Yvan. I apologize. It's just our polish is so good. All right, Yvan, my side's looking good. I don't know.
I have a door left to wipe down. Hey, quit going on my side.
Good to see you over here, Yvan.
So I'm gonna have to redo my side because you keep going over it.
Oh, I'm gonna get there eventually.
No, but stay on your side. Do I have to put a tape line down?
Put a tape line. I'm used to it. It's the only thing that keeps me in the lines. No, but seriously, I mean, when you spend this much time on paint, it just increases your chance of, I think, messing up if you're not smart about it.
Yeah.
Because I can just feel myself being more cavalier, like. It's right about now that I kind of wish I was applying ceramic gloss with my wipe down, because I still have to go around the whole vehicle and protect it.
I unfortunately have to go around the whole vehicle again just to fix what Nick has been doing. But honestly, as well, it's quite humid tonight, so that humidity He's making it so that we get the occasional little streaking if you use too much ceramic gloss. Something Nick knows much about. Using too much is his modus operandi.
I'm just using this to triple check there's no holograms left.
Yeah, I want to show you guys something. A little ancient detailer's secret here. So he often leaves stuff in there. And it's very easy. Just take your damp towel. Get the towel worked into there. And then just go along. It's little things like that that make us a detailer as opposed to a car washer.
It just occurred to me that it took me about 4 hours to finish half the vehicle.
Yep.
Which means 8 hours to do this whole thing. Possibly.
Yeah.
But then there's like a lot of variables of what else I would have gone after. Like I admittedly left some spots out. Like I left scratches. Like there used to be a time where I would just try to hit everything with 3000 grit on a dual action sander and compound that out. And I'm thinking like, why? After we've worked together so much, like why in the world was I not okay with shiny scratches? Because even this Rotary I think looks amazing. There's lots of scratches left underneath it, but the gloss is so good. Like what are people gonna see, right? I'm so curious to know what these influencers tomorrow are gonna see, Yvan.
Well, it's what they're gonna see, and more importantly, what they're not going to see.
Like my thought is they're gonna look at both sides and be like, I can't tell. I mean, they know what they're doing, but they're just gonna say,
they both look good.
They both look really good.
Yeah.
End of story. That's it.
Yeah. Difference is I've been working at a very relaxed pace. Had time to go make myself supper and eat supper.
The difference is mine hasn't even been protected yet.
Yeah.
No, I actually am enjoying this. I haven't had a chance to do it my way with you in the room in a long time, so it's just kind of fun to hear what you say and what you don't say. Oh, Ivan's actually going for cracks and crevices because I've been slinging things everywhere.
It's called detailing.
Oh, is that detailing?
To me,
all right, I got 5 sprays of ceramic gloss on my towel. I'm gonna rub it in like it's an applicator. I'm gonna cross hatch.
Whoa, what happened to the panel prep?
Oh, I panel prep, but I only used 1 towel. I just wanted it to visually look good. That's all I cared about because I didn't know the rule about the 2 towel method.
Okay.
And now I'm applying my ceramic gloss after panel prepping like it's a coating. You know, more is better, right? So you really want to saturate that towel and let it sit. More is not better. Unless it's ceramic gloss.
Well, the smell of more is better, yes.
The
fragrance you've got going on is good.
this residue. But that residue is all from the tape line. So I'm hoping that the ceramic gloss can move it a little bit. And it kind of is. It's just, it's not where I want to be in the detail right now.
So Nick, what are your impressions about going old school?
Going old school has been refreshing. It's been so much fun. I learned something today. Gold standard polish works amazing outside of our system, which I normally wouldn't say, but we don't teach to polish with the rotary and the wool. Yeah. I enjoyed it. I like doing that. I'm not gonna lie, varieties and spice of life.
Oh, hell. Yeah.
But what I also think is awesome is that gold standard polish goes forever. Like, it didn't dry up on me, Ivan.
Yeah.
So that was just fun. It was also fun to realize like a lot of what you've been teaching for years is what I prefer. So I enjoyed the hybrid with the wool, but I found myself really enjoying the creeper stool over the Viper chair.
Yeah.
I found myself leaving the polish on for the second step, not wiping it off first. I don't know, I really enjoyed using the rotary to not just finish, but to cut.
Yeah.
And that's just because I used to do that a lot.
Yeah, no, it's a great tool. It's one that everyone should learn how to use, for sure.
Yeah. But what I didn't enjoy was how much work it took. And I know how you were just taking it easy.
Yeah.
You would have been done, obviously, 2 hours ago. So I don't know, what did you enjoy about watching me do it differently?
Well, it wasn't the doing differently, it's the fact that you're learning. You know, you realize that, oh, wait a minute, you know, maybe it wasn't that good back then.
True. I mean, true. And I think back then, like, I just was going after what was ever perfection in my head. And I've learned what to let go. Like, I don't, like those scratches that we saw earlier, I know we're not in direct sunlight, but like, I don't see them anymore. No. That's awesome, right? There would have been a time where I would have been like, well, under certain lighting conditions, I can see it. I'm going to keep going after it. There's one right here that I still see. But, I don't know, just accepting what you can't change and what you can.
And I'm just going over with a towel with just one spritz of ceramic gloss.
Okay.
And then flipping it to the dry side, just to get those humidity marks off of the surface. But we're not ending it. We have 4 influencers that will be looking at this car when they arrive in Omaha, giving their impressions.
I'm excited.
They don't know who did what or what was done to it.
Well, Ivan, it's almost midnight. Shall we call it an evening?
Call it evening.